I request all participants, those who can turn on your video feeds, please do turn on your video feed. Hari Om. Yes, let us begin with the invocation. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhe Bhavatu Me Sada Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Hari Om. Yes. Can someone recollect what is it that we have seen? This is one requirement. So yes, please. Anything you can recollect. I understand 2 days were holidays. So yes, please. Yes, Badrinanji, you are saying yes, sir.
Yeah, Lord Krishna says, at the time of leaving this mortal body, if somebody is predominantly having sattva qualities, he is taking birth in a place where knowledgeable souls exist, and he continues the practice of divine realization.
If he doesn't get moksha, he will continue on the sattvic marga. Otherwise, he might get moksha also.
Achha.
Yes.
Then the rajasic, the persons who are having predominantly rajasic qualities at the time of leaving the body, they are getting into a birth where the unfulfilled desires, and they continue with desires, and they go on pursuing desires only. That means whatever is left off in the earlier janma, probably it's continued, the desires, and they will be always those qualities only. Whereas the tamas is again living in ignorance. That means the next birth will be in ignorance, and he will continue to be.
One question, Badrinanji, does the divine seem quite heartless then? Because he's giving tamasic person again tamasic birth only, so that I'll curse you. Every birth you will be in tamas, like that. No, is divine doing?
I don't think, because he is predominantly living a birth now with predominantly these qualities. So I think that is why he continues that janma with that.
But there's a chance always, isn't it, for progressing?
There is a chance. There is a chance.
For transformation.
Gradually you can.
It is not like damnation. It is not a damnation, but by default of properties. Like I go and talk rudely, roughly, or I go and fight with a person, he will fight back, isn't it? So that is action reaction. So like that karmic aspect they are talking about. Sattva guna will liberate you. Rajas will trap you in rajasic states. Maybe next birth again it has to continue that way. Same with tamasic. So yes, I just wanted to just touch on that point. Please continue, sir. Ji.
And then further Lord Krishna says, when in the sattvic bhav, the actions are performed, all the actions are normally in a perfect way. They are
best
perfection. Way. They are in a perfection, and of course the results that come out of these actions are also perfect.
Whereas, but is it boring, Badrinanji? Such actions, will they be boring? Somebody is doing all actions perfectly.
No, one thing is very clear, that when we do such actions and when we get results that are desired, then probably yes, we are motivated and we still further do good things only. Then we
all want that only, isn't it? Somebody who works perfectly, or someone is very nice, who is perfectly understanding us, who is perfectly speaking, perfectly doing little works. I think all of that is something, an aspiration only, no?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And any organization also will love to have people who are doing.
Yes. Any organization, any individual, because we want that. No matter what we feel, sometimes Rajasic feels very good. So people say, I want Rajas. Rajas is what makes me what I am. But even a Rajasic person wants a Sattvic satisfaction, unfortunately or fortunately. Will not come with desires only. It will come at a point when that bandhan is broken and or transcended. More than breaking, it's about transcending. Yes, sir. Please go on, sir.
While the Rajas, whatever actions are done by them, because it is action where desires are predominantly there, so it gives a lot of pain and suffering in the end.
Okay, sir.
Because of desires unfulfilled or something like that.
Okay, because Rajasic actions bring that, because you speak roughly when you're talking to your friend in a fit of emotion, or maybe you are having a strong desire and you've spoken wrongly. Will your friend understand your strong desire every time? No.
No.
Maybe
He
once,
will,
twice, but they will say
he
you are
will,
insensitive, you are selfish. That is what the reaction we keep
no,
hearing.
and then he will talk back, and that
Yes,
is a cause of pain and suffering for us.
everybody, for me also, for the other person also,
Yeah,
and the dialogues
yeah.
continue that way only. Then. Okay, so Rajas is not so good. All right, sir. Then
Tamas,
Thomas.
Tamas, when they perform action, this is mostly out of ignorance and yields no results. Ineffective action or zero results.
Okay, sir. Fine, sir.
And
All
then
right.
we go on to say that the sattva soul always reaches the highest peak of knowledge or the highest level of divinity, whereas
Okay.
the rajas neither ascends nor descends.
Okay.
He's always, in a middle path,
Hmm.
whereas the tamasic, due to his qualities, is always descending and in the lowermost strata of
Okay.
life.
Yes, sir. So probably there are three. The Sattvik is the highest. In the middle is what we can say Rajas. Tamas is which is sending a person lower and lower. Many times when we see something very good, what do we say? Wow, it is divine, isn't it? We
Yeah,
see
yeah,
somebody's voice is very good. They say, wow, what a divine voice. Somebody looks so beautiful. Then there are songs on that. How beautiful is divine beauty. It is like this. It is so wonderful. उसने जाना कि तारीफ मुमकिन नहीं. Because it is again that is Satvik Bhav only, isn't it? Means even in a song where there is the one person is talking in a what we can say, it may be a desired, but in that desire also there is a seeking for something which is very high, something which is on the highest. So when there also it is Satvik only. Means that is why we have to recognize that the highest is Satvik. Rajas will take us somewhere, but keep us in the middle. Tamas will trap us. Yes, sir. Please continue. Yes, Ji.
Then Lord Krishna says the divine soul who has attained realization crosses all the three gunas. He's beyond the three
Ah,
gunas,
beyond the three
and
gunas. Something is new. That
yeah,
is new. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and then he is free from birth, disease, old age,
Okay.
death, and
So he's
also
immortal. He's not going to. He's not going to get any disease. He's not going to grow old. He's not going to die. Is it, Badrinath?
no, and he is able to surpass all this. Meaning,
Means he's not getting troubled.
yeah, and
Namaste,
he's
Binaji.
free from all these sufferings,
Yes. So he's free
and
from suffering. Okay. Means he's
suffering
bearing
is
all
a
of it,
disease.
but he's not suffering.
Yeah,
Heart is not going to age, body may age. But the person on the inside will remain what we can say alive and conscious. Absolutely.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, Ji.
That's right.
So,
Thank you.
all
Thank
right.
you.
Fine. Thank you. So I think
Thank
that
you.
was one interesting thing. Thank you very much, Badrinath for a beautiful summary of what we saw. So Krishna talked about three gunas which are governing this world. Each of us are, whether or not we like it, gunas are dominating us as per our guna, as per our moment. Children are very simple. You can identify. Don't give them food. You will see Rajas guna in everything they do. They get their food. They become happy. Too much food will give them tamas. Little food will give them sattva. But we are also sometimes governed by what we eat, by what we think. Sometimes we are not in control also. Why am I getting irritated is a question we people cannot understand only. We keep trying to say that person irritated me. How many of you have heard this dialogue? I got blood pressure because of you. Anybody has heard of that dialogue? Yes, you're giving me blood pressure, you're increasing. Actually, everybody has blood pressure, nobody can give. But this dialogue is very commonly used. Because of this, I got blood pressure. Are we balloons that somebody can come with a cycle pump and I'll just mute everybody. Hold on. Yes. Yes. So what is happening is we are becoming receptacles of rajas. Because Rajas is functioning inside of us, our blood pressure is increasing. We cannot blame somebody else for our blood pressure trouble. I am getting hypertension because I am getting tensed over certain things. I cannot blame the person because today that person is not there. Another person may come and you might see a cat of your neighbor and that cat will give you more trouble than somebody else who's giving us trouble right now. So how many things can we eliminate from the outside? That is a sign that Rajas is dominating. Rajas is painful, Rajas is troublesome, Rajas makes us all desiring things, accumulating things. It is bad in relationships also. It is nowhere good unless it is at least initiating a tamasic person to do some action. We'll say better than tamasic person who does no action is a rajasic person who does some action. But this rajasic person will keep taking credit. My friend gave me one t-shirt. When he turns 80 also, he'll tell me, I gave you that t-shirt that day. He's not going to forget it because that is a rajasic action. But another friend who's helped me, he would not even remember. He said, I forgot. When did I help? I don't remember. Well, that is sattvic because it's not having any expectation. But sattvic actions always are the highest. We saw all of it. But as if this was not big enough that to realize that there are gunas controlling us, Krishna has suddenly introduced a very high concept. He said that person who has raised his consciousness can become gunatit. He can become somebody who has transcended the gunas. What we can say, suprahuman, isn't it? Human is in the trap of gunas. But a person can rise in consciousness and become more than somebody who is just trapped by the gunas. That is the concept of gunatit. The moment Krishna uses this word, Arjuna's ears suddenly lift up. He asks a question, boss, what is gunatit? Yeah, Om Prakash, he wants to ask something? Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, only I was just telling that when you don't, remember that I have given that some help to somebody, but the person who has received that help, if he remembers that, I think that should be a sattvic nature.
Yes, absolutely. The person is remembering it
Maybe
as a
for
sattvic.
this, for him who remembers is a rajasic nature, who is giving.
Yes.
Because he's
But
saying that
yeah,
they are,
gratitude. One side is gratitude,
right,
one side is adhikar. I have done it, so I
yeah,
want adhikar of credit. The other side is receiving hand is very much grateful. Grateful hand is always
so,
gratitude is something. Yes.
yeah, that's what. Okay,
All
Hari Om.
right, ji. Fine. Hari Om, Hari Om. Yes, thank you. Yes, absolutely. And we must always, when we are doing, Damliji always says, Neki kar darya mein dal. As if you are taking a stone, do good and throw that stone into the sea. Can you retrieve a stone which you have thrown into the sea? No. Who knows, you might have put so many stones that sea level only may rise. But that you will see later on. Stone is thrown, it is left your hand. It does not belong to you anymore. So that is one thing. Just one moment. Please hold on for a moment. There is. Yes. So this was what we saw about Krishna introduced the concept of Gunati. Moment he introduces this, Arjuna asks a question. He says, what is this Gunatit? Who is that Gunatit person? How does he look? Does he have two horns? Does he levitate? Does he walk like a normal person? Or what are these qualities of a Gunatit person? That is what Arjuna is asking. And Krishna immediately responds. He says, we saw three shlokas. First one, Prakasham cha pravrittim cha mohameva cha pandava na dveshti sam pravrittani na nivrittani kankshati. Somebody who's able to bear all these three gunas, meaning having no hatred on the inside. I don't like this person because he behaves this way. I don't like that person. Or I am very quiet and peaceful. I don't like an irritated person who is always having these gunas. That is something we should not have. Such a person who is able to understand, I am quiet, it's all right. That person is not quiet because Rajas is there. I am having Sattva. That person is having Tamas. I should not detest, nor should I desire. Both of these, who is able to find that middle path. Such a person who is understanding that these are all vehicles of nature, meaning the divine is using all of these for furthering an objective. So why are gunas there? It's all a part of the plan, isn't it? We are living in our lives so many moments. We are not conscious of it. If we become aware, we can watch. If you suddenly see that because of this I'm getting irritated, or you don't need to meet a dietitian to tell you that salt intake is connected to your bad health. If you become conscious, you will be able to understand, isn't it, on your own, that okay, my food is having excess salt, or at least if I'm taking salt, let me move to rock salt rather than this white poison. I don't need this. Somebody who is conscious then it will automatically reflect, isn't it? If your health is right, you're following right actions, it will immediately reflect in your results, whatever tests you take. So that means when you become conscious, you're able to understand like that. If you become conscious of these gunas and understand that these three gunas are there, okay, this guna is inside of me. One participant told me her experience. Vijayaji, she's one of our former batch participants who is in a group called Krishna's Delight. She keeps giving very good practical examples of Bhagavad Gita. So everybody remember that Gita is practical. So what she told me was, she got irritated, which she never gets irritated. She's a very calm, peaceful, quiet lady. But she was walking, she saw an auto parked in a not so proper manner. She immediately got irritated. She went and she told that person, move this auto, don't keep it like this. When will you learn? Now she doesn't talk this way to anybody, but to that person, she just immediately spoke. And interesting part was she was thinking of the Diva Krishna only while she was walking. So she was not really personally angry, and she was not personally angry with that auto person. But her action, she went and talked with him, not in the very please move or nothing like that. When will you learn? Why do you always do this? Next minute, that person changed and put the auto in the right place. Now she doesn't know what happened, why she did that. After speaking also, she's not feeling angry or anything. She just walked away normally, and it was her usual day. So here, can we say this person was Rajasic and frustrated, or it was somewhere beyond Rajas? Yes? What do you think here? I know the person is a Krishna Bhakt, so I can tell you she was not in a state of Rajas. But if you see Durvasa Rishi, can we say Durvasa Rishi is only somebody who is trapped in Rajasic Guna and not worthy of being called a Rishi also? Because getting angry, he's so cranky all the time. Old man. Can we call him like that, or why do we call him Rishi if he's Rajasic? Somewhere his Rajas Guna he has understood. He has come to terms with that Rajas Guna inside of him and is using that Rajas Guna inside of him for furthering a divine work. Otherwise, what will happen is some people are having Rajasic traits, little more Rajasic trait. Some people walk into the room also, someone will say hi. Another person will say so loudly, hello, that 4-5 people who are drinking water also might suddenly lose their calm and what has happened, who has come inside. So such a person will always, people who are having excess rajas keep getting worried, what should I do? Well, they have to control the rajas. But the gunas, we should not hate our gunas. Means you cannot suddenly expect a lion to suddenly do meow. Because rajas, lion will behave the way of a lion only. But the guna must not control a person. The remote must be in our hand, not that our life's actions should be governed by situations. So number one aspect Krishna talked about is neither hating, means don't hate all of this. Even tamas, sometimes tamas is initially helpful for making you go to rest also, isn't it? Otherwise you overexert yourself. It will be a big problem. Damleji's guru, Gokhleji had very nicely, and they didn't have much dialogue. Damleji was very senior, and while working, he was working late in the evening also. So Gokhleji just came. I'm very lucky I can have dialogues, long discussions, everything. But his guru never had such dialogues. He just came to him, looked at him working, just turned to him, looked at his face, touched his shoulder and said, Damleji, काम बंद करना भी आना चाहिए. And he went ahead. That's all. One small line. But he picked up that line as so important. See, that means, what is the meaning of this? I have been told this by my guru. There must be some reason. And he was very, very, what we can say, sincere. Means even when he was a executive, he used to travel in aeroplanes and all, and still at his guru's place, 3 rupees kothimbir, means this coriander. Accounts for 3 rupees also he would give. I bought coriander for this much. So this aspect, becoming conscious. So he became conscious and immediately understood, yes, maybe I need to not overexert also. And the time, just like how we start work, a time for completing of the action also, for the karma also. It is something we must understand. So that is what Krishna is telling. He says somebody who is firm, who is quiet, who is like a Sakshi. Sakshi Bhava is one beautiful Bhava of sadhana. If you become quiet, I think if we want to just try, we don't have homeworks, but if you want to just try for the day tomorrow, just become Sakshi, and maybe one or two persons before the session starts, you can tell your experience of this Sakshi Bhava. Anywhere you go, whether you're at workplace, whether you're at home or outside, what did you observe? Becoming the witness. Simple as that. Just observe the things at play. I think in aeroplane, we have heard of this autopilot, isn't it? In the flights, the captains are on autopilot mode. I have a friend of mine who is a pilot. So I asked him, what is this autopilot? He says, no, I don't all the time have to look at one system is there. I have to only intervene when it is required. That is a system setting which is there. So like that in our life, can we not have a moment where autopilot is there? Do we have to always be every moment governing? That will make us tired only. So first step in Gunatit probably is understanding these three gunas, how they are moving inside of me, outside of me, around me, what's happening. Only way you can observe, at least to become the observer, because unless you become observer, you cannot rise. You cannot rise out of that. That's a trap. So when will you understand it? Only when you observe and see. So then only you can go to the next stage. So here Krishna is saying, understanding that everything is happening according to the gunas. Why is this person getting irritated? Question should not come. This person is getting irritated because this person is Rajasic or is having a Rajasic reaction to some Rajasic impulse which has come from somewhere. How do you deal it? Deal it like a doctor will deal with a patient. Simple as that. What is the solution? Remove the source of Rajasic frustration. Two people having a dialogue when one person is very frustrated. Can you have a dialogue with your partner also if the person is angry, partner is angry? What do you do in that situation? Have a dialogue and try to argue further. You are pouring oil in the fire. It will become inferno. Instead, you can just, okay, now Rajas is working. I cannot say one Sattvic line also because Rajas will not accept it right now. Wait, maybe when the moment comes. This is not a general principle, of course. There are so many subject to so many conditions. What happens? Sometimes you have to intervene and strike the hammer, strike the iron when it is hot only. Something like that. Strike the hammer when it is hot. That time it is required to intervene. But how do you understand when is the right moment, when is not right moment? Only is by Sakshi Bhava. So one request I would say tomorrow, just please try spend the day just Sakshi, maybe 10 minutes, 10 minutes of observation also. And if somebody can share it before our session, it might be useful. It's not just too difficult. Anytime it can be when you're not doing something also. Just 10 minutes, observe. Observe what you observe. Yourself or outside or something else in light of the gunas which we talked about. So please try that. Because next we go to the Shloka number 24. Krishna said somebody who is able to do this, he is in his Shanta Sthiti, the person is quiet in both happy moments and sorrowful moments. Sometimes it's very important to become calm. Otherwise, Vivek Buddhi becomes brushed. Happy moment also, Vivek Buddhi is gone, it will immediately turn into unhappy. I got a lottery. So happy about it. Then I invested it in the wrong place in excitement. Happiness is gone in a moment. Same way, something very bad has happened. Because I am not balanced, I am magnifying the sorrow. Zindagi ne zindagi bhar gham diye. There's a song lots of my friends used to sing in college. Why they failed in exam? They will not study again in the exam. Or somebody has turned down their proposal. So they're all like this. Life is like this. What is this? Life is so hopeless. No, these ghazals and all are okay for listening, but we cannot get trapped into the suffering and add further to the sorrow. Sometimes we'll have to rise above it, go into the center, not in the middle moment, because it is not something which is very good. And such a person is able to understand stone, gold, and mud, all as one that person treats. Praise or blame, friends and foes alike he is able to treat. Meaning friends also, don't get too excited with friends or don't get partial with your friends and allow more than required aspects to the friends. Sometimes we get, why I did so much for you and you backstab me? Why did you do so much? Why did you show your back and You are inviting your friend to only backstab by saying, this is the back, here is the knife. Why do you want to have that partiality also? Remain in the truth consciousness. Your friend will appreciate you for maybe now your friend may not like. Sometimes it is a duty of the friend to point out when something is wrong. Should we always just pamper someone just because they are our people, or they are like, yes, I am Dhritarashtra, whatever happens, I will allow Duryodhana to do. Then what's going to happen? Big Mahabharat will start, and then end of Duryodhana also, and the entire Kauravan army also. So whose side do we want to be? Do we want to be on Arjuna's side, or do we want to become like Dhritarashtra? That's our question. So the person is able to understand friends or enemies, looking with balance, praise or blame. Somebody tells you you are brilliant, you are wonderful. Don't go rising into the sky, because next person will say you are a fool and you will come down from that same height immediately. Instead, these are all attributes given to me. I am something different. Yogis understand. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. He says, I am nothing. He says, Name Mrityu Shanka, Name Jati Bheda, Pita Naiva Me Naiva, Mata Na Janma, Na Bandhur Na Mitram, Gurur Naiva Shishya. I am not the Guru, I am not the Shishya, I am not the friend also, I am not a father, or I don't have a father, I don't have a mother. Meaning, who is that? Only Shiva is born like that, who is already existing. So what is this person doing? He's not negating the parents, but he's understanding that I am not completely attached. My life is something more. I am a part of a Sanatan Dharma, a golden chain, which has been happening since ancient times. This is one birth. This is one experience I am taking. But there are many experiences I have taken, and I will also continue to be taking. So I'm slightly beyond all this. Just because one friend of mine failed in maths exam. He was so sad. It was in 4th standard or 5th standard, I think. He cried so much that it was so bad that he said, my life is over. Basically, because he was a Marwadi, calculations are very important for him and his family. That was that time's big thing. And when I sat with him, I tried to find some way where he will pass or something like that. All silly mistakes. And this continued for some more time, his maths mistakes. Unnecessary mistakes he would make. But because of that, if he drew a full stop, because I am not good at it, it would have been the end, isn't it? If he got emotional. Today, he is one of the most established CA. He is actually a secretary of the ICAI in Pondicherry as well. And he's an excellent CA with a very big reputation. Big banks seek him to be the auditor. So how much of a transformation happens? It changes. So bad moments also don't give yourself the, what we can say, paint yourself and hurt yourself more with sorrow. The balance is important. So with all of this introduction, we are ready to enter into this last part. All of this, okay, Krishna is going to simplify things as always. There's a very simple shortcut, or we can say cheat code for becoming Gunatit. That is in the last two shlokas. Let us see what it is. Manapamanayo stulyastulyo mitra ripakshayoho sarvarambha parityagi gunatitaha sa uchyate. To him, honor and insult are just the same. Whether honor or insult, both are the same. The faction of foes and friends, another zero-sum game. Means friends and foes. It is treated like a zero-sum game. Can someone tell me what a zero-sum game is? Anybody? Yes, zero-sum game. Anyone, if you've heard of it? Can you just tell me what it could be? Yes, Badrinaranji. All right.
0 plus 0 is equal to 0. Is something like that?
No, 0 plus, not that. That is not zero-sum game. Yes.
No profit, no gain. No profit, no
All
loss.
right. Okay, Shivaji has told no profit, no loss. Okay, that is to some extent correct. Has anybody else come across this term? Yes. Dipali ji, yeah.
Is that one person's gain is another's loss?
Okay, I think both. I think this is quite correct. Something similar to what Shivaji has also told. Means it is like if I start a business, I have an investment of this much, say 10 lakhs or 10 crores, and I'm getting back 10 crores. Is it what has happened here? What's my profit? Again, like Shivaji has said, no profit, no loss. Something like that, where one place addition is taking place, another place subtraction is taking place. So net result is maybe I got something good here, but I lost something there. So net I am back to the same. So such a person is actually thinking of friendships also, because today I lost a good friend.
Here benefit is zero totally.
Yes, benefit is zero. Means the balance is there. No, I have not failed. I have not succeeded also. I'm just there. So the yogi is able to look at things like this as a zero-sum game. My best friend left me. Now this is the biggest sorrow for somebody. Sometimes this sorrow troubles them for many, we can say decades also, not just months. People carry it in their heart. My best friend did not do this, or my best friend left me, or very close person whom I love so much has walked out. It's okay. One more will walk in. One person gone from here, another new person is joined here. One good friend has come. This is a game of Maya. It's like if you see in the Mrityu Sansara Sagar, in this ocean, two logs are floating, they come and they touch each other. We don't know why they have touched each other, and then they go away again to never meet. What is the logic? You don't have to worry about all of this logic. Understand, good things happen. Okay, I went, but I hold on to my duty. That will give you the comfort and solace that I did my duty. It's okay. It's all right. I'm holding on to dharma firmly. Even if I am losing some friends, people are saying this, you are bad. You don't have to worry about it. I used to worry about it a lot, about my friends. I wanted so many things for my friends. And more I wanted, more it was going in the opposite direction only. I could not manifest things what I wanted. I would try to take time out and do something for my friend, and still it would again go backfire. Then I don't know what has happened afterwards. Some changes happened. We can say Guru Kripa or what. Now I don't talk to my friends also, and still they say they are very happy talking to me. Once in a while I talk. Earlier I used to talk more than required. Still I did not get anything. So instead in life, we have to get that state. Krishna is saying, that's a person. Whether honor or insult, he's still looking at the same foes and friends. I lost one enemy also, don't celebrate. Tomorrow one more enemy will come. What will you do then? Just, it's like, okay, I am in this pond, I have become the biggest fish. But tomorrow one more fish may come bigger than me, what will I do? Or this is not the only pond, there might be another. So we don't have to take so much of this pride also, whether friends or foes. In all his work actions, his desire for initiating has ended. Mortal nature, such a being is said to have transcended. Now, the desire for initiating action is over inside of such a person. Normally, a person would say, without a desire to initiate an action, no action is done. But Krishna is telling this as something which is important. Can anybody do some action without having that desire? I want to do this and get this project sanctioned or something like now. We'll look at a corporate aspect, because most of the corporate projects, when some employee begins working for the company or for himself or herself, they decide, I am going to make this project work. How can you work on the project without feeling that you are doing the project? Because I am doing it. See, everybody look at me. I am doing this project. You have to acknowledge me. I am doing this. I'm sending mail. You better do this work for me. How can you go into a state where you can say that, like Sarvarambha Parityagi? So I'm not initiating. How can you even say that? Or is it practical, or now Krishna has suddenly become impractical? So far, we've seen practical aspects everywhere. So what is this? Can someone tell me? Can you do some project like that? Any organization, can you think of where Swartha is not there and still the organization is flourishing without Swartha? Yes, Gayatri ji.
If it's a NGO, non-profitable organization.
Okay, fine. In a non-profitable. Okay, Swami Vivekananda is there. He has Ramakrishna missions. They are continuing to inspire people. All right. But what about profitable organization? Can you, because all of us are not working in NGOs. We are working in corporate setups also. So how can you work in a corporate setup without with this state of Sarvarambha Parityagi? Boss will say not wanting to do any new work. This person has got a bad appraisal now. So how can this principle be practical? Can anybody think of something? Yes. Amiraji, your audio is muted for some reason. I'm unable to hear you.
It's is it that it's part of duty and it has to be done for the good of everyone?
Okay, that's wonderful. Yes. If you do it out of a sense of duty, not just that swartha for me, for my progress, for this, I'm doing it for the betterment of everybody. But then again comes the question, how do we do it? It's actually everywhere, swartha. One young friend of mine who's just got a job and he's been given some work, but his boss is trying to push him out of the office. So they're giving him some work. Now, how can he understand? He's like, how can he do for betterment of everybody? Well, next shloka makes it simple actually. Next shloka is answering this very question. Mam cha yovya vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Means offering it to the divine, offering it to Krishna himself. This aspect, Loka Sangra is also good, but something higher is Tvadiyam vastu govindam tubhyameva samarpayet. This is yours. I will do it. Example, I'm not just simply saying this. Lakshmi Narayanji of Atlanta, who is part of our Krishna's Delight family, did a project only because he said, Krishna will not like it if I didn't do this project, if I didn't take an effort. A project came onto his table. Nobody in the company wanted to do it because it was something which was little beyond the capacity of the company. The CEO came and told him also, Ki, Mr. Lakshman, I understand if you don't want to do it, I'll not ask you to do it. This is just come to us. If you feel it's useful, if you feel you want to do it, you can do it. But we don't have the time also. He said, he just thought, okay, and I'll think over it. And he went inside and he just said, this has come to me. Maybe I can make it proper. But he can leave it also because weekend is there, family time is important, and Saturday, Sunday is the best time for family. Nobody works for 15 minutes also on these 2 days. And he isn't there. He was just thinking what to do. Suddenly he said, but will Krishna like it? There was a question he asked. Krishna will not like it if I don't do it because it's a duty and I have to do it for my Krishna. That's all he said. Senior person, HR manager, he's got wonderful 2 children. Both are probably working also right now. He's quite a senior person. But he said, no, I have to do it for Krishna. For some reason, this is Shraddha speaking. This is not superstition or some kind of, calculated SOP that, mechanically done. From his heart, he felt, I want to do it as an offering for Krishna. Corporate project for Krishna he has offered. What has happened is because of that, during the lockdown, his company had work for his other staff also. Loka Sangra also, he didn't aim at it. Means Loka Sangra is a good aim, Krishna has told. Do it for betterment of people. But even higher is full Shraddha offered to the divine. He focused on Krishna for divine ensured Loka Sangra took place. So this aspect, Shraddhavan bhajate yomam, as Krishna has told in 12th Adhyay also. So your karma also, offer it to Krishna, you will become Gunatit without your realizing only. This is what Tukaram was talking about. I went to see God, I didn't know when I became God. It is a sakshatkar, it is a realization. Who is going to make us Gunatit? Krishna only. Let him make it. It's his headache. Why should I worry about becoming Gunatit? What I can try to do is improve my gunas, become as best as possible. Offer with Shraddha to the divine. Because Krishna says, he who loves and yearns for me with his heart, he whose devotion for me has no end or start. This is immeasurable. This bhakti inside has only made a person Gunatit. Bhakti is something which is so immeasurable. It is as infinite as the divine only. Hanuman says, where is Rama? He says inside and he pulls his chest open and somebody gets a darshan of Sri Rama. How is it? What is it? Like that, there are so many examples of bhakti. In India, we are, what we can say, very lucky. We are blessed to be born in this Bharatiya soil, where we have got so many examples of bhakti. So many sampradayas are there. Even now, recent now, Ashadi got over the Ashadi Ekadashi. What happened? The Varkari sampradayas there also. So much. Even during lockdown, they were banned from going to that Pandharpur. So now, whatever happens, these pilgrimages take place. But the biggest question was, now what will happen? You know what happened during that time also? They walked all the way to the policeman who is standing at the border and went and touched the feet of the policeman and went back. Everybody was like, Vithala is here only. We see Vithala in you. We will not go all the way to Pandharpur. In the COVID time also, how is it possible? What is it? Well, this is Shraddha. This is Bhakti. This is what is transcending everything. This is only going to make you transcend. Why Krishna says, have this Shraddha, it's for transcending. The mother of Sri Aurobindo Ashram also says, love is a singular human emotion. that has the ability or potential for catalyzing human evolution. In our life, haven't we done a lot of remarkable things because of love only? Haven't we? Yes or no? But that love is probably, if there is little swartha inside of that love, the work, the karma is not that remarkable. If that love is pure niswartha, then it's a remarkable karma. You will not have to worry about it. You don't have to calculate also. It is something like that. So someone with a shraddha inside, which is infinite as divine only, nature's triple modes he can easily breach, and a supreme state he is ready to reach. With Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. He can go to the highest state of Brahmic wisdom, which the great Vedic rishis did great several years of tapasya and reached it. With your shraddha and love, you can just reach it like that, is what Krishna says. Shabari. What an experience of Shabari. Patience, isn't it? Shabari got the darshan of Rama. All she had to do was very sincerely. She was just like, her guru told her, that's all. Rama will come. With shraddha. Yes, somebody wants to add something, is it? No. All right, I'll just mute it. So, Guru had told her that, wait, Rama will come. And with that thought that Rama is going to come, she spent her entire life waiting, and doing her sadhana. She kept going on. With shraddha only, no? Somebody tells you is going to come and you remember and you wait for it. And how long will you wait without getting frustrated, without getting irritated? Where will this patience come from? Well, this is sadhana, this is tapasya. To understand it, we need to have bhakti. So bhakti is extremely important. We see one more reason now is that it can also help us become Atit. It can make us more than what we are. It's like there's a prayer also. You raise me up to more than I can be. I am strong when I am on your shoulders. This is the prayer told to the divine. And it's like when I wait in the silence, then I can hear you come and sit next to me. That's what the prayer is about. Means when you're going to hear the divine, you're going to feel the presence of the divine. How is that going to happen? With shraddha only. So last part is shraddha is that which is going to help us become Gunatit. We go on further. Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya gayasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. This is why so many swamis are having their names with Ananda, isn't it? Vivekananda. Any other names anybody can think of? Chinmayananda. You look at the names only, they are also Swarupananda. So if you see, look at all the names, it's Vivek means Vivek Buddhi. When the Vivek Buddhi is Jagrut and you get an Ananda, probably we can think of Swami Vivekananda. Swarupananda, Bhaktas might be seeing the Swarupa of the divine only. In their Guru, they see, it is said, no, isn't it? Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptamena Charachara. So in that Swarupa, they are able to see. Chinmayananda is there in that Chit is only already become in that consciousness of divine. Purnananda, the Ananda of completeness. So everywhere when that perfection is reached, we experience that Ananda. That is probably why these Gurus gave the names also to their Shishyas, so that in their life, let them get that experience. Let them get that Ananda and experience that Ananda. Because that is the path. That is the path and that is the consequence. We all want ultimately a joy. But we want a joy which will remain, isn't it? How many of us want alternating happiness and sorrow? Does anybody want that? Happiness and sorrow? Nobody wants that. But it keeps coming because of Prakriti. When we transcend, we get that steady state. And that's what Krishna is saying. Why is he saying have the Shraddha and the divine? Because I am the eternal foundation, the imperishable and immortal Lord of the creation, the timeless code of man, that Sanatan Dharma, the Sanatan code, I verily uphold, and I am the highest bliss that a mortal can hold. When that experience comes, you experience the Ananda. That is exactly what Krishna is talking about. So with this, we are ready to enter into what is the next next Adhyay. I begin with the illustration. Yes, please. Can 1 second. I'm not able to. Yeah. Yes, can someone just describe this illustration? It is from a website, newscientist.com. Artist name also is there. I am not claiming any copyright. Yes, can someone tell me what do you see here? I would rather request as many participants to who have not participated to please participate. This is going to be interesting. What do you see here? Anybody? I'm sorry, it's got a little more zoom. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, please. Can someone tell me what you see here? Somebody who has not yet responded today. Yes, please. I request you to press the unmute button and tell me what do you see here. Describing the illustration is sufficient rather than what is the philosophy behind it. That we'll see later. But what do you see here on just roughly also looking at it physically or according to Drishti? Anyone? Yes, please. Please unmute and tell me what do you see here? Then only we can go ahead. Hari Om. Yes, please.
Is it the, I don't know, it's not very clear. Looks
Okay.
like skeleton of the fish
Okay.
or something.
Okay, it looks a skeleton of fish. Is the entire thing a skeleton of fish, or what does it look like, Chitraji? Where do you see the
It
fish?
looks little like the turbulence kind, the whirlpool kind.
Okay, you're
But-
able to see the whirlpools and fish also you're able to see. Okay.
Right.
All right. Anything else you would like to add?
I'm not able to make out
Okay,
the
fine.
up
All
one.
right. So Chitraji has told us that it's like there's a skeleton of the fish also, and there is a whirlpool. We can see that. Okay, next after Chitraji. Yes.
Is there an overarching umbrella over the universe?
Okay, an umbrella over the universe. Miraji is saying it appears probably like a representative of this some mystic cosmic umbrella which is covering the universe. Is it on the top or which side is that umbrella opened up, upside down, or how is it, Miraji?
No, it's over. It's covering the entire universe.
Three-dimensional. Okay, okay. Acha, that is visible according to Miraji. Okay. Anybody sees an owl? Yes, please.
Yes, I would like to say something.
Yes, ji. Haji, Vinita ji. Yes, ji.
It shows, what I can make out is the upper design shows like a tree of life.
Acha,
And
upper
so
design
it is
looks like a tree of life.
Tree of life.
Okay.
So the tree of life is there, it's there, and the reflection is there down below also. So
Acha
what
ji.
is there outside is there inside also, like bahar ki
But
dunya aur
okay
apne
ji,
man ke
acha
andar
ji.
ki
So
dunya
it
bhi,
looks
you can connect it that way. You can connect it like a yin and yang energy also.
okay. Yin yang
Yeah.
related energy balance symmetry
Hmm.
is visible. Okay,
Yes.
and but this Vintage, the tree of life which you are talking about, is it the tree is having its leaves? Where are the leaves of this tree, ji, in the image?
Here in the image, you can say like it is the whole design is showing some kind of a finite boundaries, but then
No, upar hai ya niche hai, Vinita ji, these leaves.
That's what I'm saying कि दोनों तरफ ही है growth.
दोनों
ऊपर
तरफ
भी
है,
है और
okay.
नीचे भी है.
Okay, it looks like leaves are on the top also and bottom also.
हाँ, क्योंकि same, maybe the same design is not repeated down below, but down also there is a
Achha.
pattern. There is
okay. All right. Okay. Yes, Vinita ji has given another interesting insight that this tree is having leaves, which is leaves are on the top also, leaves are in the bottom also. Okay. Anybody is able to see? Okay.
It's like an infinite system.
Okay, like an infinite system. Vinita ji is saying it looks like an infinite system. Okay. Anybody else would like to tell me about it?
It has symmetry.
Okay. Shivaji has told it has symmetry. Okay. Anybody else would like to add something?
It
To what
looks
we
like
did?
an inverted tree.
Okay, Arvind ji is saying
The
inverted
roots
tree.
going into sky.
Okay, Arvind ji is able to see roots now. And Vinita ji saw leaves only. But now Arvind ji is seeing roots. Roots, are they up or are they at the bottom, Arvind ji?
They're up in the sky,
Okay, roots are in the sky.
upside down.
And anybody feels the roots appear like they're in the bottom also? Yes? Okay, I think I'll probably stop here because this will not end. It's a very interesting aspect that this is actually
It
yes,
indicates endless, what is it called?
Yes.
You can say life cycle. Something
Life
which will
cycles.
just go on, which will just keep on growing.
Okay. Yes, yes. All right. Fine. Okay, ji. Yes, ji, Vinita ji. So I
I
think,
feel,
yes, Rekha ji. All right. Yes, ji.
to me, it looks like a mask in which the eye is confused
Ha.
and
A face. It looks.
got clarity of thoughts, but down below the eyes, it's confusion.
Okay, okay. So there's a quietude on the top and there is a confusion in the bottom. Okay, Rekha ji has also told that. Okay.
Between the light and
Yes,
the
ji.
dark.
Light and dark.
It can also
Okay.
be light and the dark.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Nobody has yet said owl. Normally in batches they say they see owl also. So now my question is, this is actually a two-dimensional image, isn't it? The name of the artist has also been mentioned. It is a two-dimensional image, but which is not moving. The image is not changing. But if you saw perceptions, it started becoming from the exoskeleton or skeleton of the fish to the whirlpools to the tree of life with leaves up and down, roots also, roots in the top, or it looked like an umbrella, divine umbrella. Well, and it is said, isn't it? Ekam sat vipraha bahuda vadanti. One truth is perceived by the wise in many ways. But this is just a two-dimensional image. We are getting so many perceptions of different people. Look at our universe. Just imagine our universe. How many perceptions, how many things are there? Well, this is something which is showing a symmetry. A symmetry is there. A grand design is there if you watch properly. Continuing with what we looked yesterday about Sakshi, I mean, in the last Adhyay about Sakshi Bhava, I would again remind everyone, please do take 10 minutes. If 10 minutes not possible, I would say at least 5 minutes to experience what this Sakshi Bhava is. You can put a timer in your phone. I will not ask you to waste more time, but experience that, because here we are seeing a symmetry, and this is actually used for describing in that website about what is the chaos theory. Yes, Deepali ji wants to add something.
Half page is showing day and half page is night.
Okay.
Prakasha and Andhakara.
Prakash and Andhakara, Brahma's morning, Brahma's night. We can have so many such interpretations. Absolutely. But if you see, this was for a chaos theory. Anybody has heard of chaos theory? Or butterfly effect? Anyone? Yes? All right, we'll just complete this Adhyay, I mean this illustration, and start with the Adhyay. I'll just look at it in short. Well, here, if you see the tagline below, the universe has a divine purpose and is not a product of chance or fluke. Behind all the chaos of activity that floods the world, there is a divine orderliness. All right, I'll just stop. You could actually Google this about chaos, what is chaos theory as well, or the butterfly effect. It talks about how you see so many butterflies at one time in one place, they are flapping their wings in synchronous state. That flapping at one end is leading to changing wind currents elsewhere. How is it possible? What they call domino effect. Something like that in our world, in our Vishwa, we are all connected to each other. We are all connected. What appears random, what appears crazy, what appears absolutely unstable also, even behind that. I think engineers we have in our group, mechanical engineers are already there. Is there any equation for turbulence? Are there equations governing turbulence? I think Badrinaran ji and Om Prakash ji, I would ask that question. Yes? Are there equations? Because turbulent, we know what is turbulent is not, which is uncontrolled. So can turbulence be predicted is my question.
After certain velocity, if it is cross, then it will be converted from laminar to turbulent, and we call
yes,
it
laminar.
turbulent.
Okay, Dheeraj ji, you are also engineer, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes. So we had these equations also. I remember that because they gave me a lot of interesting time. So yes, what is laminar flow, which just changes, it becomes turbulent. If you look at turbulence, it is everywhere around us. But look at an aeroplane. Aeroplane is also having turbulence only. But it is so perfectly designed, perfect engineering, human engineering, that it is studying the laws. So many rules are understood, and suddenly a metal object is floating in the sky. How is it possible? Well, these equations are helping understand what is happening. And for turbulence also, there is a particular equation. Like that, even randomness or disorderliness, what we call entropy also, a mathematical formula was identified for the entropy also. So something like that, we can understand that our Srishti is also behind all the chaos. Sometimes we feel, is Bhagwan there? Swami Vivekananda's journey of Adhyatma began this way only. He began questioning the existence of the divine. Agar tum ho, to ye kyun hai? If you are there, why is there famine? Why are my brethren suffering? Why is India under this wrong, unjust rule? Why are my brothers and sisters dying hungry? Their own lands, they are not able to grow their crops. They are growing crops which are again spoiling their land also, them also. They are not getting anything and they are dying after doing all these efforts. Are we not some human beings with some dignity? What is the matter? So many such questions were there in the minds of a young Narendra. Later on, he becomes Swami Vivekananda when these questions are answered, when he understood. Because there is a story of he going to his guru and he had asked, will not Ma Kali help me? Because he has done so much. He's given his life for everybody, for the world. But his brothers and sisters are suffering from poverty. So he asked Ramakrishna Paramahans, will not Ma Kali help my brothers and sisters? Is it wrong to have asked this Matswar, this question? Can I not ask her? Will she not help? Can she not help? He said, go and ask her. She's Jagrut here. So he goes to ask. He goes, folds his hand with a full wish to pray, forgets what he wants to pray. He doesn't understand. Again goes back. His guru asked, did you ask? He said, no, I forgot. Go and ask. So again he goes. It happens 3 times. But what has happened? Why is he forgetting? He loves his parents, he loves his children, I mean his brothers and sisters, everything. His family, he loves them. What is happening is suddenly he's becoming conscious of himself also. And he's saying, this is not my only family. I have a bigger, vaster family even beyond my blood. For my big family, can I just become selfish and ask for one family? This is all happening so subconsciously. Some force is only making him suddenly think so vast that he is not able to ask that prayer only. So something like that, there is a divine orderliness in the world. When you recognize that, probably you will understand. We will just start the 15th Adhyay. We will see only 3 shlokas because these shlokas are pretty confusing to many people sometimes. And if we start in the other part of the Adhyay, we will not see these 3 shlokas again. The next part of the Adhyay will be completed tomorrow. So let us see. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri Krishna is speaking. Urdhamula madhashakham ashwatham prahuravyayam chandasi yasya varnani yastam veda sa vedavid. From its roots above, seated in eternity and branching below, is the ethereal Ashwatha tree. The many hymns of the Vedas are but its leaves. He who knows this, the essence of Veda, he perceives. Krishna is saying, with roots above. Now we all know normal trees, they grow with roots below. Now we can say Krishna is talking about some crazy abnormal tree. He's saying, how is it? With its roots above. And where is it coming? It's seated in eternity. Since we know Shara Vishwa, isn't it? Our Vishwa is Shara. It is not eternal. It is something which is a part of a cycle of creation and destruction. Pralaya happens, everything is destroyed and a new Srishti has to be created. But it is not eternal. But this tree is having its origin from the eternal. Its roots are eternal. I mean, it's originating from the eternal and its roots are above and its branches are below. And branching below is the ethereal Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha is, anybody? What is this tree, Ashwatha? We have come across it in, I think, the Vibhuti Darshana. Krishna says, I am Ashwatha among the trees.
The people tree.
Absolutely, Chitraji. Perfectly said. Yes, it is the people tree. So he's saying this is a cosmic people tree with its roots above, branches below, and its leaves. What are the leaves? Well, all leaves are the various chandas or various hymns of the Vedas. Chandasi yasya parnani. Means all these suktas. If you see, Rig Veda itself has 1,000 suktas. Well, one leaf of this tree is that Veda. He who understands this, he has understood the essence of the Vedas. Now, what Krishna is doing is he's not giving just a physical tree, he's talking about some metaphysical truth. If you see what is our Milky Way? Milky Way was already, we had a term called Akash Ganga, isn't it? Now, if you see modern scientists say, how is our Milky Way? It is like that of a serpent. Haven't we heard of Vishnu sitting on the Naga? Well, there are so many principles which we don't understand. How is it that when our astrological instruments were not there, people could develop technologies for identifying without even having a telescope? How can they identify grahas? How can they, these temples also were constructed in a particular way according to the position. Look at the sun temple, it is again so perfect. How did they get that? How did they get that? There are certain truths which are a little beyond our full understanding. This is the domain of what we can say metaphysics. Krishna is talking about a metaphysical truth, saying, if you understand the basic, like in the illustration that we saw, if you understand the essence of that illustration, how many meanings people drew from it? They saw the balance of light and darkness. Somebody perceived yin and yang. Somebody saw the tree of life. Somebody saw whirlpools of movements continuously happening. It is in our life also whirlpools taking place. So many such perceptions are possible. And Krishna is saying there is one eternal tree. Those who can understand it, they have already experienced the essence. In the village, Bainabai, I have talked about her, the illiterate poetess who never got any formal education. She got the experience that Panduranga is only teaching her Bhagavad Gita. From the soil, Gita has come out, she says. And then she talks about leaves. Since we have talked about leaves, she says, this rustling of the leaves is whispering the coming and going of the divine. How did she hear it? People only hear sounds. People hear different sounds. But she is able to perceive some coming and going. And somebody who reads her words are actually frozen. How did she get this realization? She's not got formal education. No chance. If you look at her life, her job was to put food on the table for her children, for which she had to go and work in the fields. Normally, we'll say laborers and hardworking people are not having the ability to think, have intellectual thoughts. That's false. It's not true. But here, not intellectual. These are Brahma Jnana Shabdas are there. People are doing PhD now after her death also on her words, which are not supposedly in perfect. When she says Soroswati instead of Saraswati, Sanskrit Pandit will come and say this is insult to Ma Saraswati. No, Mother Saraswati is calling her a loving child. She has blessed her so much. She says, she has given me this tongue, so I am speaking. Whatever she has given. So this aspect, if you understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, you will understand the essence of any Upanishad. Understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, you will understand the essence of even the Rig Veda. Like that, understand the essence of the tree, you have understood everything is what Krishna is saying. To go further, let us see. Krishna is helping or confusing, we don't know. He is going to tell more about this tree. He says, Adashchordham prasrutas tasya Shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravalaha adashcha mulan yanusantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. Above and below, the cosmic tree's branches extend. In the material and supra-physical planes, they portend, raised by nature's qualities and their derivative senses. Roots of bonded actions into the mortal world, it dispenses. Now we are seeing its very strong connection with us also. Raised by nature's qualities, raised by these gunas, the gunas that we are functioning or the gunas that are governing are actually nourishing this eternal cosmic tree. Something like the experiences that we are experiencing also, they're all feeding some kind of data into this tree, like a data going into a server. Something like that. The gunas are nourishing this tree. Above and below, its branches are extending. So branches are not just below also, above also. Material and supra-physical world, they portend, raised by nature's qualities and the senses, indriyas, and as well as the gunas. Roots of bonded actions into the mortal world, it dispenses. So one thing we understand is this is a tree that is connecting the eternal with the material, with the spiritual with what is we call matter. Matter and spirit is being connected. There's a very fine, thin line which is separating this. Somebody identifies it as identified the way of fusion also of these two. So here, this is that tree Krishna is saying. It is getting its nourishment from the senses, but it is not good because it is binding people to karma bandhana. People are getting trapped by these roots. It is like they are not getting understanding, but they are getting suffocated by these roots more and more. These are trapping the individual into karma bandhana. This we have understood about desire, isn't it? As a trap. Pasha, pasha, shatair baddhaha, it is said. 101 bonds. 100 bonds in the Gita, in the Kathopanishad, it's called 101. But these bonds of desire are trapping us like that. In this roots of this tree are only keeping person trapped in Maya. It is again something connected with that. It is worth meditating maybe. We don't know because it becomes more confusing if you try to meditate. Because we have learned about trees in a very particular way. This tree is breaking our logic of what a tree is supposed to be. We know kingdom, phylum, plant, family, order, genus, species, full classification of trees. We understand how that tree was before, monocotyledon, dicotyledon, all these things. But this tree is coming directly from eternity and it is binding people. And it is causing karma bandhana is what we are seeing. Let us just see what happens. Next shloka, we'll stop with this shloka here. Krishna says, Narupamasyeha tatopalabhyate nanto chadirna cha sampratishtha ashvattamenam suvirudha moolam asanga shastrena drudena chitva. This inverted Ashwata's form on earth is inconceivable. So, given us freedom, Krishna is told, we cannot understand it only. So, why waste our time so much in intellectually trying to analyze? I know one person who tried to draw it and he spent a lot of time drawing and got very angry when I asked a logical question because that drawing was then not looking good according to the logical question. But this is not a logical tree. This is beyond the conception of mind. Krishna is saying it is there. I think there was a movie, isn't it, Avatar, which is connected with a tree. I think the newer version has come out. The old one was about absolutely one tree. That tree connects all living beings. That tree is broken. The life forms are all destroyed. Something like that. A sacred tree, acquired to the ancient, Sanatan, eternal, whatever this tree is. But people are getting bound to it. So here this shloka Krishna is telling first, the inverted Ashwata's form on earth is inconceivable. Neither beginning nor end nor foundation is perceivable. It is like trying to find the beginning and end of Shiva. Brahma and Vishnu also tried to find it. Anybody is aware of the story? Yes? Trying to go, one goes to the top, one goes to the bottom, and still they're not able to find because it is beyond these limits. Something like that, this neither the beginning nor the end nor foundation is perceivable. With the sharpest saber of detachment, alone one can sever and escape from its roots that entangle the being forever. What we must be wary is this Maya is trapping. Maya is again generating. This is probably this tree is connected with this Maya only. It is trapping a person. It is trapping a person. So asanga shastrena dhrudena chitva. Asanga means, we know sanga means attachment. Asanga, non-attachment. This is called a weapon. Asanga shastrena drudena chitva, meaning those roots will cut you and entangle you. Use this as a weapon. Use asanga as a weapon to free yourself and liberate. Otherwise, these roots will trap you forever. How many times in life we get such traps? Unless we get detached, we will not be able to go out of it. Otherwise, we will always perennially be in that trap and we will sometimes get attached to that trap only and we'll say, this is my life, this is my destiny. I will never come out of it. Now, this also is a aspect of Maya working on us, not our Vivek Buddhi or our full realization, which is talking about freedom and liberation. So here we see one more beautiful way Krishna is talking about detachment. We have heard of Mukta Sangha, isn't it? Free union. That's something which we also enjoy. We want free union. We want to be free in our relationship and yet we don't want to lose the relationship. So we want to be connected and yet free. United and yet free. A bond, but not a bondage. How can that happen? Well, that is the liberation. Same way Krishna is using here, but he says, asanga shastrena, meaning from the wrong things we have to cut ourselves. Otherwise, sanskaras will be created. Sanskaras will become stronger, and jada. They will become so jada, then you cannot escape from it only. Then then it is only kripa of the divine, kripa of the guru, whatever prayers, all of that is required. So here we see, this is the tree. Nobody knows why Krishna talks about this tree. Carl Jung was very excited with this particular tree only. He said he found this concept. He is a father of psychoanalysis. All the medical doctors study about him first, about his psychoanalysis theories and all. Well, this is something he also found interesting. So this tree, maybe we can, if anybody wants, you can just share. Today we don't have Akhilesh ji, so we may not have notes from him. So you can, if you can just share what you understand by the tree also. Because one thing we must recognize, that every perception is a valid perception. We don't have to feel that my perception is wrong. Sincerely, what we understand might actually be the right thing also. So we can try. We'll stop here with this on the third shloka of the 15th Adhyay. We'll stop here. I'll conclude with the Shanti mantra. If anybody has any queries, we will see. Krishna is talking about something metaphysical. How is it connected with the rest of the Adhyay? We have to see that. We will see it at the end. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayah. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om. Tatsat. Krishna Vande Jagat Gurum. Hari Om. Jai Shri Krishna ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari
Namaste
Om.
ji.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om ji.
Hari
If there are
Om.
any queries, Namaste ji. Hari Om. Any queries, welcome. Otherwise,
Hari
we
Om.
can take.
Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Namaskar. Hari Om.
Hari
Yes.
Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om ji. Yes. If there are no queries, we'll conclude. And again, as always, we want to have a practical connection. Yes, Vinita ji. Most welcome.
Just one
Yes.
small question.
Yes, ji.
See, all the children are working in the, IT world, or you say the present world, they are working in companies and all that. So at my age, or maybe we can understand, okay, theek hai, we can, when we are working with colleagues, it's a different thing. But jaise aapne bola na ki karo aur nahi karo aur darya mein dalo, but that doesn't happen in the companies. When you are having your counterparts, so one person is working and the another person is maybe just trying to please and not do that much of work, but just,
Okay. Okay,
so
ji.
you see, in that kind of a system, if you teach your children, or if you say कि ठीक है अपना काम करो प्रोजेक्ट में और भूल जाओ, ऐसा नहीं है, because आपने काम किया और प्रोजेक्ट का क्रेडिट कोई और भी लेगा या ऐसा भी होगा. Now, how do you teach your children to handle such a situation?
तो अच्छा, तो ऐसे लोगों को भगवत गीता इसीलिए सिखानी नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि ये लोगों को तकलीफ देता है. ये कॉर्पोरेट सेटअप में जाएगा तो प्रैक्टिकल से जुड़ा नहीं है. इज दैट व्हाट विनीता जी इज सेइंग? यस जी. Yes. But okay, anyway, I will answer this question. It's actually very early in the Gita. And one more, what I'm saying is, I know a lot of people in the corporate setup who are doing sadhana also. And their sadhana is going on and their work is also going on. They're good team leaders. They don't utter a word of spirituality when they are at their workplace. It is what the very secret, silent aspect of their life, which colleagues don't know. Only when they are asked, they may speak something, but that also, there nobody, it is all coffee table discussion, which is not good adhyatma charcha. But if you see, Krishna has already told us, na buddhi bhedam. One side is vyavasayatmika buddhi, another side is avyavasayatmika buddhi. One is a selfless perspective, another is a selfish perspective. So these are two perspectives which will not ever combine. One person is ratra, another person says it's day. This was there in, I think, our previous adhyayas itself. So in such a situation, what Krishna says is, na buddhi vedam. Don't teach a selfless person. I think as parents, we will not want to teach our children to become selfish for a simple reason that we want good, even if we want to think of well-being of our children, we cannot teach them selfishness because that selfishness will manifest in different places. But Without creating a divide in the ignorant mind, in a mind which is not understanding the value of selflessness, get your work done is what Krishna is saying. Understand that this person is going to work according to Swartha only. So tell them, boss, हमारा project का deadline है, complete करना है. Don't say it is हमारी कृष्ण के लिए ही करना है ये प्रोजेक्ट, इसलिए मैं आपको विनंती करता हूँ या विनंती करती हूँ, मैं प्रार्थना करता हूँ कि आप ये काम करो, आपको पुण्य मिलेगा स्वर्ग लोक में, इस प्रोजेक्ट के कारण आपको एक और एडिशनल फैसिलिटी मिलेगी और समथिंग लाइक दैट. नो, इट विल नॉट वर्क देयर. These are practical principles. We don't have to create a divide. We don't have to create a bhed in another person's mind. Why should somebody else even know about?
I'm not saying I want to teach my daughter to behave in this particular manner or my children. I'm not saying that way. But when they face such a kind of a situation,
No, they are strong. They are strong because what happens is corporate world is a dog. If you want loyalty, hire a dog. This was a dialogue told to me by my friends. If you want, but I am from, I am actually on night time I'm taking Gita, but throughout the day I am working in my sir's industry. I am the CEO of his company. We manufacture Ayurvedic medicines everywhere, monetary transaction. I cannot say to the herb supplier ki Bhagwan ke naam pe अच्छे rates पे दे दो. I can't ask all of that. They will say rate बढ़ गया. My rate has to, end product rate will not change. Marketing rates are, other heads are there, large industries are competing, MNCs, all of these are there. But where karma is there, karma has to be done perfectly, because if I do my karma in a corporate setup also improperly, it will have a consequence. It cannot be completely go, it will not allow. Means even corporate setups, if you look at it, they want ethical employees. When they scout, they want people who have character, they want people who have principles. And these are the ones who go on. Normally, the cats on the wall are in trouble, because one friend of mine worked for 9 years in a company. 9 years in a company. Nobody I know worked for so many years in this in any company, because in corporate language, it's like package jahan zyada milta hai, wahan pe jate hai. This person, she was working for 9 years. One of the reasons she was working was also because she liked the security and did not want to take new portfolios. She was like, it's okay, it's all right, I will look at my thing. She would, all the outer aspects of transactional aspect was happening. But here, this is wrong, no? Vinitaji, means she feels she's protecting her job, but she is not growing in person. As a sadhak, the person will have to grow in personality. So whatever happens, I will try to do my best. That is the aspiration, to keep getting better. But now she has tried to make herself comfortable and live in that bubble. Unfortunately, after 9 years, the management changed. Her superiors wanted her out of the project. They created a system where she got so frustrated, she had to resign. So
that's
now what has happened? Huh?
That's what happens. I mean,
that's
and
what
then the
happens.
person has a regret. Yeah, I worked in this company for so many years.
9
like,
years.
I'm just taking her example. Suppose if you
Yes.
say, I worked for so many years, and then the moment the management changed, they wanted maybe a new person, or they wanted somebody who would listen to them or do whatever it is.
Yes. So what was she doing there? She was not growing as an individual, no? So the individual growth, a sadhak understands that I cannot rest with little tamas in any angle of me. I will keep growing sattvic in a sattvic manner. And every action, I have to keep growing. Progress means what is sadhana that way? Vyaktitva ka vikas, no? Personality development in all anga, in every part of us. That is sadhana. So if you don't grow, nowhere it will help us. Krishna also says, without sacrifice, you nowhere, not in this world, not in another world. So what is it in Gita which is a problem, Vinitaji? That I don't understand, because here Krishna is not asking you to preach to anybody anything. This is a secret, silent thing. Guhyam. Krishna keeps saying, Raja Vidyam, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Secret knowledge. My neighbor does not know what I am doing. I don't have to tell my neighbor also ki I am doing this. This is not for preaching, but it is for practicing more than preaching. And when you practice, you will get the experience. Really speaking, one business client, after the purchase order was sent to me, then he's asking, why are you preaching Gita? Why are you doing? What are you doing? I did not even talk about what was going on, because that is not connected with the business. Later on, if he is interested, he may know or he may not know. It will not have to do anything. This is not the principles are more important. He and I bonded not because of Bhagavad Gita or not because of something else. It was because our work is right, products are good, because the discussions, negotiations went ahead. We did not anything else. We didn't invoke anything else, but it was what we will say, it was a discussion which was on material terms, but still it was something beyond material. Isn't it, Vinita ji? So Gita is practical. I would like to again repeat, it will not create trouble. It will help a person. We talked about man, apaman. Apman has happened and so a person. I served 9 years. What my friend did is in her 9 years, somebody has created a situation. If she was smarter, probably she would have taken one step before only. She could have understood. I knew 6 months before that she is going to leave the place, but I could not tell her to, because the person does not want to listen. And she correctly reacted in a Rajasic manner, which created her ground. And she had tears while going. Now, what is if she had understood probably the Gita properly, that would not have happened, no, Vinita ji? In the corporate setup also,
so according to you, what she should have done? She should have been smarter than those people, or she should have quit before the situation arrived?
She should have been like, she could have observed what I know the personal situation well. So she kept observing what is happening. She interaction, she like chalta hai, pushing ahead and ahead. As a brother or as a friend, well-wisher, I was seeing ki dimag itna kharab ho raha hai for some reason. She is not upping her skill also. She is wanting to go into some project which is, we would say, which is not going to require so much of what big investment of her energies. And this was somewhere which is jada, no? Something is not moving, progressing. So my question is actually, Vinita ji, what is it you want to know exactly about Gita being practical in corporate sector or not being practical? Because from my experience, it is, but anybody is free. I will not say my experience is correct. I can be a fool, complete fool, but it is my perception I am sharing. It is an experience of an individual.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I mean. I maybe I'll have to attend many sessions with you again and again.
I do not know when my next session is, Vinita ji. There might be a break after this session. Yes, ji.
No, I'm just saying. I will maybe.
Yes.
I mean,
No,
I have to.
no, it
I
is
have to
practical.
understand.
It is practical. I understand the spirit of the question also. That is why I'm not saying that the question is wrong, but it is practical from the beginning. Until we practice, we will not be able to. Means go into that, because from here we feel like even if I can try to say for somebody else, I will not be able to experience that full Kshetra's experience just by speaking. I can only tell from what I have experienced. Personally, it's been very nice for me. My Guruji is a practical person only. He had actually told me, don't read any scripture first. Control your behavior. Improve your thinking. Improve your concentration. Ye kitab vitab baad mein aayenge. Told me to go away from the books also for a good period of time. So yes, I feel it's practical. I have also published some research papers on why it is practically in management also. It is good. It is there for medical doctors also. People are finding it practical. What is it which is impractical? You can probably share or you can try to find out and then we will see. But in all sectors, it has its value. Ji. Definitely. All right. Ji. Okay. Ji. Hari Om. Ji. Jai Shri Krishna.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Hari Om. Ji.